Welcome to Luxury and Black. I'm your host, Sherry Tisdale.
And I'm Lonnie McQuarters.
Good morning, Lonnie.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm well. I
That is
am well.
fantastic. We've been missing you.
Oh, I've been missing you too and missing you all too.
We are so happy you're back and want to say Happy New Year again. And how have things been going? I know it's been a rough time, and we certainly have been praying for you and your family, and hope everything is getting better.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you so very much. It takes family and friends to help and hold each other up. And so that's exactly what my family and friends have been doing and just getting me back to where I know that I am and where I need to be mentally and emotionally. I'm headed back on the right track. I'm pretty much back ready to conquer the world again.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. And grieving mourning takes time.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
it does. There is no time limit on it. Everybody's process is different, but what's most important is that you take the time to do it.
Yes. And that's what I've been doing and what I am doing. And it's just being patient with yourself and not forcing things and just living light. I'm on the right track. I appreciate you so very much.
I appreciate you, and I'm glad to you're doing better, and we're certainly glad to have you back.
Yes.
We've missed you.
Yes. So tell me what's going on? What did I miss? Who did you all
Well, we've been kicking off the new year talking about legacy and the importance and really tying in a lot of legacy, the foundation of legacy and its importance. And you and I both hail from Greenwood and the historic Black Wall Street, and really been talking about the spirit of of where we come from and
right?
how it penetrates throughout the community, how it affected and certainly instilled in my life, and you've shared as well about yours. And so I've been giving tidbits on what really made Greenwood so powerful. And
Mhm.
last week I talked about O.W. Gurley, who
Uh-huh.
was the founder of Greenwood, and
Uh-huh.
how he started with a vision and executed his plan by purchasing 40 acres that he did then sold to black settlers, dividing between residential and commercial use, which
Some of this,
instilled and
gosh,
ignited.
that was just to learn of that information and that little bit that man did and how that one thing changed millions of lives.
Exactly. It's just starts with a vision and then having a plan. And when it says write the vision, make it plain so I can run with it, he is a true example of executing that principle. And we know the results of it because Greenwood was born and Black Wall Street, it became the most prosperous Black community in America, which is just phenomenal. When I was researching, I knew he was the founder and the originator, but what I did not know was the 40 acres.
Right.
That blew me away.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, wow, we hear that always 40 acres and a mule. And I was like, wow, it was actually 40 acres.
Yeah.
And what ignited an entire community. And to go the next step was bringing in, I was going to be talking a little bit today about J.B. Stratford, who
Uh-huh.
then became his partner. He came into Greenwood in 1908. Gurley came in 1906.
Okay.
And J.B. Stratford, but he was already a very successful attorney and real estate developer that migrated when he heard about the land run and black settling in Oklahoma.
Uh-huh.
And when he got there, he connected, they said kindred spirits with O.W. Gurley, and both with their business savvy and acumen joined together and then just completely took that to the next level. And we all know about the Stratford Hotel that he had, which was the largest black hotel in America. And just his business savvy, his real estate development, and the amount of land he owned in Oklahoma. But he was a brilliant attorney. And what really struck me, I knew he was an attorney, but he was truly an advocate of civil rights. He was fighting for civil rights and taking on injustice and fighting for equality way back in 1908.
Wow.
And that
Before the
was
civil
just
rights movement.
amazing.
Before the civil rights movement.
I'm sorry, you said what?
I said before the civil rights movement.
Right. And
Hmm.
I was like that. And to when you read his story and his tenacity, he was absolutely a a true activist. He led the charges and on Greenwood, organizing the community, fighting for their rights, taking on the establishment, the government in Tulsa at that time, fighting for against lynchings and just equality. He was known for always going down to the courthouse, taking them on when he would hear about injustice. And he was the first person that went down when Dick Rowland was charged and fighting for him to be released when he heard about that they were going to try to lynch him.
Yeah.
And they actually, they being the powers that be,
Hmm.
labeled him as the person, J.B. Strafford, that who ignited the riot
Wow.
because he was standing up for the
Yeah.
injustice and just how that whole thing just took went left, as we would say. And it was just like, this is amazing. But how he fought and unfortunately ended up leaving because they did arrest him, and but he was able to get away, and his son Cornelius was able had $500, and they were able to out of the detention area that they had hit JB in, and
Hmm.
was able to get on a train and was able to leave the city. And
Got
later on, he finally was the charges were removed, but the
you.
stigma lasted
Right. Just
for
running them out.
years
Yeah.
that he was a fugitive. And it was just when you read that whole story, and it's interesting just with some things that are going on in the world today, you were just like, okay, we cannot repeat.
Yeah. And it's sad you see the certain things coming back around. So the same behaviors are recycled and learned, and it's our job to end up and not allow those behaviors to fall through and come to fruition.
Exactly. It is just really interesting. So we've been really talking about the power of legacy, but and with that, where I was really emphasizing the power of having a vision, having a plan,
Hmm.
executing your vision, taking action, and most importantly, also, but that you have to do it with the community, that you can't be a lone ranger. And to me, they really exemplified what coming together and having that united front and executing, but how they pulled in the community is
Yeah.
what made Greenwood, like Wall Street, everything that it was and that we're still seeing bubbling today, and really encouraging people to come in and see what it was, but then also see what's new, what's happening on Greenwood today.
Right.
And we have new innovate creators and
And
entrepreneurs.
just past month, there's a new restaurant. The name of the restaurant is Scrambled. Had a chance to meet with one of the owners. They are from Oklahoma City. It's a lady, her husband, and her husband's brother. So it's a family ran restaurant. They're open for brunch, and I got a chance to actually experience it, and it was refreshing. We need places like this. Me living in Atlanta, traveling all over the world, like brunch time is it's an event, and
Yes, it is.
you might plan for that 2 weeks out and be like, hey, let's have brunch on this date, and you're gonna actually put some effort into your look, and you're like it's a whole vibe. And so I feel like this place could ignite the brunch culture that we're missing, especially in downtown Tulsa area.
I have not
So
been. Is this Scrambles, the new one that opened on Greenwood?
yes, it's in
Yeah,
the
I've heard about it. I did the Daniel fast, so I just came out of that 21 days. So I
okay.
am itching to get down there. I've heard nothing but great things.
Yeah, so it's nice. I'll be there supporting. So yeah. So,
That is really cool because we really have needed really great brunch
uh,
in our community to
I can
really have that. So that is exciting. I plan to definitely get down there and check that out. And as you said, most importantly, the key thing is support. What new has been in your world, and as you've been coming into the new year,
so
what's been
you
happening
know,
on your end?
you know how life is with the downs, it comes ups, and so you just got to get through the downs and just look forward to the ups. And what I'm most nearly, I haven't shared with you, but I'm flying to London at the end of the month. I'm dialing Kimberly Nicole for the Brit Awards in London, and so that's going to take place on March 1st. So I'll be going there and helping her and living it up in London for the weekend, and then I think we're gonna go over to Paris and do some vintage shopping and get some good food, and then I'll come back to the States.
That is amazing. Now, how long will you be there?
I'll be there about 5 days, 5 to 6 days.
Okay, I'm like, you can't go to London and Paris in a minute. You got to go and
Yeah, and I've been before, so it's not my first time, so it'll be just me saying, "Hey, I'm back," and doing the things that I enjoy doing there, and the neighborhoods. There's a black African neighborhood in France called Chateau d'Eau, and I'm interested in learning more about that neighborhood, seeing the businesses there, seeing how the Africans have made that neighborhood theirs, and having the balance of being African and having or whatever their country, wherever they're from in Africa, balancing that and also living in France. And I've done some research, and it's just a little difficult for them to hold on to their heritage, but also be French and be accepted.
and
Yeah.
that's because I know Paris Fashion Week. Is it still going on? I know that's been going on. We're getting ready to roll into New York Fashion Week. Now, have you ever been over during Paris Fashion Week?
I have not. I have been to the men's shows in London in 2017, I believe, and that was interesting. It reminded me a lot of New York. Um, it's not as big. It's a little underground, more underground community. Yeah, the shows that I went to, it was great. I felt it gave the true essence of England. Some of the fashions that they have instilled and that they're proud of, what they've been successful doing is tailoring and coats and trench coats, and you get all that London feel from them, and so I took all that in. So it was great.
Is awesome. Now, we had talked about, and I know won't be attending this year, but really excited about New York Fashion Week getting ready to kick off. Actually, today.
It
Today
starts
is the
today.
10th.
Yep, starts today. Goes today through the 11th. Let's see who's on this. So Christian Siriano, he's presenting today, and I see you have Christopher John Rogers.
Yes, yes. He has been our featured spotlight this week, who I am a huge fan of. Actually rocking one of his sweatshirts today, but he is just masterful in my opinion. I love his colors. They're
Uh-huh.
so vibrant and they do bring pure joy, which is I hear a tag that is people say about him, what how they feel about his clothing. But I am just been such a fan of his for a long time. I love his silhouettes and his just attention to detail and how the clothes flow. I love the way his fabrics feel.
Mm-hmm.
He gives me all the feels. Really excited to that. I know he's coming back again this year and kicking it off, and but was really excited with the number of Black American designers that are participating throughout the week.
Yeah.
And I've listed, so we talked about that a little bit and been listing some of the different designers that are on the scene, but that are really will be taking part of this event. So really excited.
Hmm. And Christopher, he's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and there's so much talent in the South. I think when I attended Clark Atlanta in Atlanta, I met so many people from Louisiana, all the Souths, all the Southern states. And there's fashion there, there's talent, and how he broke out of there and got to New York. It's almost like you have to get to New York. You have to get for you to be seen and heard. And the way he moved and got up there and made himself known is amazing. And at 32 years of age.
It really is, and one of the things that we've talked about on the show before, just the tenacity in our people as a whole. And when you listen to their various stories, and when you have worked in that arena and in those spaces as well, and firsthand, but one of the things that I am most impressed, we talked about LaJuan Smith last week, and I love him and as well, but and he shared how he was rejected at FIT, Parsons School of Design. John Christopher Rogers did go through design school,
Mhm.
but
And
my
Savannah
point
College of Arts, and
really
Savannah,
is how
Savannah
they
is
have
slept
had
on.
to just create their narratives to really
Mhm.
push and get on the scene.
Yeah. And so he went to Savannah College of Art and Design, and that's actually a great school. I know a lot of people that study down in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
Yep. So it's also not to be slept on.
But I just love their, I call that inner, you have to have that inner confidence and just knowing who you are and what you're gifted to do and how they can just shut out all the noise and just I'm this is what I'm going to do, and they have just really kicked the door open and pushed themselves in there.
Uh
And
huh.
it's just so interesting that still yet to me that it's talent. We have so much talent, just as you mentioned, that why is it still so difficult just in that arena just to have the same space and get the same recognition. I am excited. I do see where John Christopher Rogers is in J. Crew. His clothing is in J. Crew.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's Nordstrom's and some of the main stores, as well as going direct
Uh
with his designs. But I'm seeing where more and more, I'm happy to see more and more retail establishments doing collaborative
Right.
partnership
Yeah.
with our
Giving them a
designers.
chance. Yeah. Yeah. So we also have Sergio Hudson. He's going to be presenting tomorrow, and he's a black designer. Get a little bit about him.
And I'm going to be looking to see where we can get footage from some of
Mhm.
their showings, because I
Uh-huh.
think that's so important for people to really hear and see and know.
Sergio Hudson is from South Carolina, and he studied at Bowder College, and he made his way to New York Fashion Week and debuted in 2020. He was featured on that TV show Bravo's Style to Rock, and he's dressed a number of celebrities: Beyonce, Rihanna, Jennifer Lopez, Issa Rae. And the retailers that he's included are Bergdorf Goodman and Neiman Marcus. So he'll be presenting tomorrow as well. So we'll have to pull some images from Sergio.
That's awesome.
Sergio
And
Hudson.
I do want to just give a big round of applause to our entertainers. I will say Beyonce, Rihanna, Cardi B, Monet, but there's so many, Tracy Ellis Ross,
Mhm.
Kerry Washington, and I have to say, and I still say my first lady, Michelle Obama,
Yes.
how they support and really rock black designers. They really do. And I really applaud that they really put their fashions and their support in supporting black designers. I think it's truly to be commended and noted
Uh huh. Yeah.
because that I believe has really helped just putting their designs in the forefront, putting them, getting
Yeah.
them on the pages that
Uh
they
huh.
should already be out on anyway.
Yeah.
And I know that we have a event that's going to be coming up, which is held as the largest Juneteenth in the United States.
Yeah. The
And
Juneteenth
we're
celebration in
really
Tulsa
excited
is
that
great.
we maintain that crown. I love that. But that we had a phenomenal fashion show that was added last year that
Uh-huh.
you headed. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it and excited that it's coming back again this year.
Yes. So it was. I had a, so a few years ago, I actually had did a fashion show when I first came back to Tulsa when I moved back from New York, and I did one on the street, and it was free. It was actually in that hallway behind T's barbershop, and it was there was so many photos and artifacts from Tulsa in this hallway, and I went and met with Lincoln. Went to high school with him. He went to Booker T class of '98, and he was in charge of all getting these artifacts presented and erected. And so he was trying to just do some things there. And I was like, hey, let me do a fashion show. So I had a fashion show in the hallway that kind of came out to the outside so people can actually see and know that you can actually go in here and see this artwork that's created and curated from Tulsa from like the race riot to now. And that was I had it during Fashion Week, and it was free and open for the people. So I am in meeting Lauren, who's over Juneteenth. She had a vision of having a fashion show actually on the schedule, being a part of Juneteenth, and so linking up with her, our show last year, we made it happen. We had a rooftop fashion show the week just before Juneteenth kicked off. We had our area designers. We collabed with Oklahoma City. So it's me and Landy. She's a stylist from Oklahoma City. We came together and put together a show. So we had one half Oklahoma City, one half Tulsa, and yeah, it was great. We sold tickets, had VIP, had our DJ come in from Dallas, who's from Tulsa, and we're gonna kick it off again. So it'll be June 14th. We are now just, I guess, deciding on location, and I'm just happy that it's coming back. So
I
we
Yeah, it was really truly an awesome, uh, event last year. So I'm excited that it's gonna be back again this year. I think it will certainly be better than ever, and the response was absolutely phenomenal. And I think one of the things, like when you said don't sleep on the South, I would also say that in our neck of in central part here, people tend to
uh-huh.
think fashion is not a thing, but it is.
Yep.
And we have a lot of creative Black creatives here in Oklahoma and in the surrounding areas. And that was certainly noted and excited to see the new talent that will be coming in. So, are you doing calls for fashion designers? I know models that you've got some couple of model casting calls coming up, right?
Yeah, so we'll have a designer call. We're also reaching out to them personally, some people that we want to work with, and there's also designers that we might not know about that we want to like find your stuff and make help you in any way that help you succeed. So I would love to be introduced to any new designers in the Oklahoma area, any new models, anyone that wants to work in the makeup and hair department, just see how a fashion show is ran. Every show is different, and that's the
Right.
fun part. So yeah, I think it's going to be fun again to actually bring. Because I literally, if I was in New York, I take off for work, or if I was like working on a project, I make an effort to go to the tents, is what we called it, and spend the whole day at fashion shows just back to back. And it's a whole culture. I've met so many people. You learn about different brands, you get free things. There's food, there's drinks. So it was Fashion Week in New York was such a non-missed event for me. I had to be at every if there was just one day that I had and I just went to as many shows as I could get into, I would just do that. But to bring that back to Tulsa or show Tulsa, okay, hey, maybe we can
Mm.
incorporate this in this way and make it look like this. And I think it's my job to do that. I don't know anybody else that
Oh,
will and have and that.
that's 100. And
So,
having worked in New York, modeling in New York, and then and
mhm,
just being in on that scene as well, there is nothing like New York City when it comes to that. And that energy, if you could bottle that up, that energy
yeah,
and everything that it just encompasses, if it could be put in a bottle, it would cost a fortune
yep.
to be able to just own that and be able to reproduce that. But that would be really exciting. And I will say, Lonnie, the show that you did last year, that and I know you have other things that you want to see happen, but it did give that feel.
Okay.
For me, it it gave it was
Uh-huh.
something, I mean, it was just really done well. and the ambiance, the atmosphere, the feel and the flavor of it, it gave you a little it made me think of that. It gave me a
Yes.
little, "Oh, okay, see, we can do this." It definitely can happen here. And I think it will really ignite a lot of creators that are here to be able to have a platform
Yeah.
and be able to create that element of a show
Hmm.
that we used to have them years ago, or shows would come into this area. And so that's definitely something that needs to come back. So I'm excited that it's happening again.
Yeah.
And I encourage everyone, if you missed it last year, don't sleep. You want to be there because this year is going to be amazing.
Yep, it's gonna have to outdo last year, then, and if that's the case, then it's gonna be groundbreaking. Yeah.
Absolutely. I know that as we are rolling, celebrating Black History Month, and which you and I both, we celebrate 365, but this is that month. And just really acknowledging all of encouraging everyone. If you only do it one time a year, please go out and support the Black businesses. It is just so imperative. And I'm sure, Lonnie, you've been watching all the
Oh
conversation on the DEI and with some of the
God.
stores. And I know you work
Yeah.
somewhat in the retail space. So give me your take. What is your feel on that, particularly with Target and what's going on there with Target and primarily in Walmart, that you hear about a lot, and Amazon, that particularly for our Black creators who have finally had their product placed on the shelves in those stores. What is your take on support or not support?
It's sickening because I'm a supporter of. I grew up loving Target, and I grew up in this most recent years loving Target having these black brands, and you're able to actually go and see these black owned brands that didn't get a chance to sell anywhere. And so I just don't know how did they think that they were not going to be able to like support DEI and keep their name? And I just don't understand like you're changing the your culture. Like you're now selling out. You're now turning your back on the people that have supported your brand, the people that are providing your store with products that you don't have. So how dare you? And I think it's sickening. It's disgusting. I'm friends with one of the designers, Samantha Black. She was able to actually sell her clothing, and I was excited for her and hosting Target, and
Right,
it's just a big letdown. I work for a company that I work for Levi, and
right.
we are all about diversity in equity and inclusion. It's almost put in our face like we talk about we give money back for stuff, and so I like to be that I do work for a company that actually care humans. So yeah.
Now, and you mentioned, what is your feeling? I shared a clip last week that Tabitha Brown did. And it was just, I felt that was important just to hear the thoughts coming from a Black creator in that space and
Hmm.
the impact on them. And certainly, she, as she stated, she understood and was not encouraging people to continue to support Target, but of
Hmm.
course, still support her.
Yeah.
But just sharing the impact, excuse me, that it has on those creators who are in there, what it can do to their business. And you mentioned your friend Samantha Brown. How do you think this may have?
She is for her, she's made her own platform, and I guess that's the important thing. And I think that we need to take away from this is selling our own products on our own platform. That way you're not you don't have all your eggs in one basket. She was, I guess, they gave her a chance to show her collection. It was a or sell her collection a few years back, and so she's not currently on the shelf yet. She uses Target, and that's a part of her business brand and plan. She sold there, and so it's hard. I'm sure it's hard for her to not be able to use Target as a great supporter of hers anymore. Like it's almost as you have to almost as if that didn't happen. I don't know. we'd have to talk to her. We'd
Yeah,
have
I would love
to-
to if we could get her on the show, I would love to hear her take because and I will say I've had mixed emotions because I do supporting of Black creators, and I have not I haven't been in Target since this has happened, but I normally make a point to go in, particularly in February, because they always have new Black creators
right,
that they're promoting. They do that big
right. They're
promotion,
like
Black
leading the
Heritage.
way. They're one of the leading multi-billionaire companies that are, well, I guess that we thought was supporting us. And you said you look forward to every February to go. Look at them now.
And I did feel for the ones that this was their first time getting landing in that space and then not getting the support. And I've actually said I was going to go in just to see, get the name, see who's in there, see the
Yeah.
layout, and then maybe go back and
Mhm.
purchase directly
Oh,
from
yeah.
their sites, but not actually buy at Target.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
'Cause I still wanna see them win, and it was one statement that Tabitha made that did stand out to me and struck me, where it's an oxymoron, but it was a statement she made that, "Let's not let them win,"
Uh-huh.
because that's what they really wanna see is that we'll boycott, we won't go in, we won't purchase anything, including
Uh-huh.
and then their products will just not have any movement, and they can get rid of them and then they can actually put in the products that they want that to happen, they want it to fail, let's not let that happen. And so it left me with, I get that part, it's just like it's okay, what do I do?
I know
No,
we're in such a bad position in the
it
world right
is an
now.
awful position. It's like, why are we here? Why are we
Yeah.
having this conversation?
And that's indicative of our government and what our higher ups right now. It's trickling on down.
Yes, it really is. Do you see more in your feeling in that you work in that arena? Do you think more companies will take the same charge and follow suit? Or hopefully, I know Nordstrom's and Macy's have taken a stance, which I was so happy to hear that they're going to stand up and not be a part of it.
Nice.
Do you think more retail establishments will stand up and stay strong?
I sure hope so. And I hope that they're taking notes at the ones
Yeah,
that are standing up. And we need to let people know those companies because I want to know the ones that are on our side, the ones that we should be purchasing from. I think then it's our job to do that word of mouth. I've always thought Nordstrom's was a great brand, and I wish we had one here in Tulsa. But so then I would go support them or try to find the black designers that are actually at those stores because Nordstrom's also is Sergio Hudson, I believe, is at Nordstrom's. There's so some of these designers that are presenting at Fashion Week are let's see where they're sold and see if those
right.
companies, yeah,
And then, as you said, one of the things that we have to be really more intentional about doing is really going direct, which is always really the better move because that money directly, they don't have a third party in there that they have to contend with. But you're really being very intentional about going directly and supporting our creators and not only not supporting Target, that means you won't support anybody. You just go a different way. It's not solving the problem. We really need to utilize our voice and be effective and show our power by really putting that support directly into our creators, finding out where they are directly and spending our dollars there.
yeah,
Well, I certainly am watching and where this is going. And certainly, I really do hope it takes a curve, that it shifts because it was so disheartening. So much is coming down the pike. January came in like a lion,
right.
and it was like, wow. what is happening? What are we doing?
Yeah,
But I'm standing on that. This too will pass.
absolutely.
We
So,
will definitely get into it. But I did do some scouting and wanted to share a little bit because February is also the month of love,
uh,
and we have some phenomenal Black fragrance designers and creators that I've been watching and following. And
okay.
this month that we're celebrating several Black founders with fragrances and wanted to
Uh-huh.
share some of their names. And also will on the website luxuryanblack.com, we'll be showcasing and listing these Black fragrance creators and their contact information that you can reach out to try something different, try something new fragrances. But one in particular is Chris Collins with is it Savar? Are you familiar with that one?
I'm not Chris Collins, okay? And that's funny. There's a black designer named Chuck Collins. He's presenting at Fashion Week 2 days. He's a black designer as well.
And
So,
he's fragrance too.
now he's women's wear, ready to wear, and he's
Ready
presenting
to wear.
on
Okay. Okay.
February 8th. His name is Chuck Collins. That's
Oh
funny.
wow.
So Chris Collins. Um,
But yes, we have quite a few.
is that Scentbird? Or you can get it on
Mika
Scentbird?
Jones,
Okay.
uh, Dennis and Jackie Ashmore, Terry Johnson, Matthew Sanchez, and as I said, Chris Collins. But I'm going to list them on our website and their contact information.
Uh-huh.
But I was going to share a quick clip here that I captured with located that I have here with Chris, and he has created a store, I
Hmm.
believe, in Atlanta
Uh-huh.
that primarily for other creators in that space and fragrance that to lend support where they can come in and showcase their products.
Mm.
And so I wanted us to take a quick listen to what he had to say. I thought it was really cool.
I'm on his website now. It looks really cool. I see he has it's called Alchemy of Fragrance. It's just really nice.
Here.
Has a hold on everyone here in America. The thought is that if you're not in a big box store, then you must not be that good.
Give me
And so
one
when they
moment.
don't see us locally, where they typically go to buy high end fragrances, they don't consider us. So I just wanted to offer my space here in Atlanta, which is a new space I'm developing called the Black Nose Lab. It celebrates us and those who want to celebrate us. And I would be happy to share your fragrances with my audience here. If that's something you'd be interested in, please let me know so I can send you the address so we can figure it out. I make fragrances, savoir faire, I make them myself. I also make candles myself. I do not make soap and I do not make incense, and that is something that I would love to create or offer under the savoir faire umbrella or the Black Nose Lab. Would love to have those conversations too. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to give you or share whatever exposure I have for your products and for your brand. All right, we all we got.
I thought that was so important to share.
It is.
And I would love to. I was like, we wish I was in that area. I would love to go and check that out. Are you, and Subway, are you familiar with that one?
I'm not. I would love to check them out. It's like you said, on my next trip down, I'm gonna have to go and go by a studio and see what he's see it firsthand. Would be great. I'm inspired. He's because he's supporting other creators and giving them a place to actually create, and that's what we're also missing.
Exactly. And I love that part, that he recognized just how hard the plot getting in. And as he said earlier, I may have missed that part of the clip which is really hard with perfume, people want to smell and get a sense of feel. And he's in that they're not in the stores for you to have that experience. So where he when he opened up his space was to provide a place where people could come
Mhm.
and do that, because sometimes it can be really hard when you're trying to push your product just straight offline
Right.
and getting people to try something new
Yeah.
that they can't. And
Physical
fragrance
space.
is that funny thing. Is you want to
Yeah.
make
Some of
sure that it's something that you want. But I said I'm gonna have to just take a chance and reach out and try a couple of them just to see how well I like them. But I love, love, love the number of creators we have in that space and that we should know about.
right.
Find ways that we can support.
Right.
And so maybe that might be something I don't know, with Juneteenth, that would that be something that could be incorporated with the fashion show? I don't, with
Yeah.
fragrances, with that.
Yeah. I'm here for it. 'Cause scent and fragrance creates or controls a lot of your mood. Um, and it's I guess it's a really high percentage of what scent does to your mood. So I think
Right.
it's important. Hmm.
That will be on luxuryandblack.com. I'm going to list those creators and their contact information. And so if you are looking for something different and want to just take a chance and try and support some of our Black fragrance creators, we will list that information and we certainly hope that you will do. We do have some cool things excuse me, taking place. I know this Friday here in Tulsa, Build Tulsa is having their first Friday's Founders Market. It's going to be happening downtown Tulsa on Reconciliation Way from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. And where a lot of Black founders will be showcasing their products. And so they're certainly doing a big thing, particularly this month, in that it is in celebration of Black History Month. Wanted to note that.
Nice.
And also, we talked a little bit about New York Fashion Week kicking off with the Black designers kicking off today, going through I believe, the 11th. So we'll keep you abreast of the designers. And again, Christopher John Rogers is kicking it off today. I'm excited to get online to see how his collection did
Yeah, his
and
show
what he's going to be
is nice.
presenting. And we have also one of also your favorites too, Lonnie, Jay Monroe, was one of our guests. His art exhibit in New York is kicking off on February the 8th in New York, the um, Reawakening, and it looks like it's going to be amazing. Loved what his been showing on his site. But that if you're in the New York area, and encourage you to go certainly check him out. J. Monroe Media. Again, it's called The Reawakening, and it's going to be February the 8th from 7 to 10 p.m. And that is going to definitely be so exciting. And then we have in Tulsa, we have our Galentine's Day that's going to be taking place at the Box Yard. Excuse me. Again, we have several Black founders that will be participating in the Valentine's Day event at the Box Yard on February the 13th, which is off of west of historic Greenwood in downtown Tulsa. Encourage you to get out and check that out and take part in that. That's going to be a great time. And again, where we can get out and support our, again, our Black creators. And I want to round up with our luxury and black tips this week. And we've been talking a lot about Valentine's Day and that love connection. And we have some enchanting black owned resorts and B&Bs. So if you've been looking for a romantic getaway and you want to do something different, I have a couple of resorts and B&B to share with you. One is called Aquaba Mansion. It's a B&B, and that is located in excuse me, in Bedford, New York. Yes, that is located in Bedford, New York, and it is owned by the former editor in chief of Essence, Monique Greenwood, and her husband, known for a rich history and stunning architecture. Sorry about that. And then we have the Oak Bluffs Inn. It is a cultural classic located in Massachusetts, giving you that New England charm, located near shops and restaurants. And one of my favorites, I haven't stayed there, but I've had brunch there, the Salamander Resort in Middleburg, uh, Virginia. Absolutely enchanting. It is a must see. And then also they have one in DC. So if you ever get a chance to stay there. We have La Mason in Midtown in Houston, Texas, and Spice Island Resort in Grand Angus Beach in St. George, Grenada. And so those are just giving you some few tips on some great, exquisite, great getaway options. That is also supporting Black hotels and B&Bs that we wanted to take note that could be some great romantic getaways. We have certainly enjoyed chatting with you again this week. We hope that you will get out and check out some of the Black designers and founders that we discussed in fragrance and certainly in ready to wear. We will look forward to getting with you next week.